Hey everyone, welcome to Ludicrous Feed Live. You're with Tom tonight, and today is Thursday, the 31st of August 2023. So nice of you to join us on Ludicrous Feed Live. If you are watching live, welcome, and make sure you join in the conversation tonight on the live chat. If you're watching on replay, hello as well. Don't forget to leave a comment, and if you're listening to us on audio podcast in your car or wherever that might be, welcome as well. Okay, well, let's welcome our regular guest for tonight. Of course, that is Riz from Carloop and The Driven. Hello, Riz. How are you this evening?
Yeah, going well, Tom. So much to talk about. Good to be here with everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. So nice to see you all. And we'll see whether Rahul joins us tonight as well. So, yes, stay tuned for that. If you're watching Rahul, hello there. Hope you're keeping well. Okay, well, let's say hello to some of our members on the stream tonight. So let's see, we've got Kenny. Hello there, Kenny. Hi, Tom, Riz, and Rahul. Looking forward to hearing all the news. And Tassie Evie one says, good evening, everyone, from a cool Tassie. Stay warm there, Tassie Evie one. And Oz Screamer says, evening all as well. Got a few of our regulars too. We've got Jez, Louise, Matt, Not For Us, Pantheus, H2 Rider. I can see some regular names there. So nice of our guests to join us every week. Hey, Riz, isn't that nice?
Oh, they're all here for us, and we're here for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And Peter Cook says, hi from Queanbeyan. For the last time, my big move is tomorrow. Oh, okay, good luck with that. The wall charger that came with my Model 3 is in March 2020. Wow, 246,956 kilometers ago. What an effort. Congratulations. Installed and waiting. No more 10 amp GPO charging. Hey, that's great to hear there. All right. We've got, hey, Charles. Nice to see you there. Nice to see you, Charles. One of our regulars too. And Not For Us has got a big day next Thursday. Here we go. Delivery confirmation for Model Y rear-wheel drive. So congratulations. Next Thursday, which is our stream as well. So yeah, let us know how that goes. Okay, cool. Let's see who else we've got here. Oh, Gaffer's here. Hello. Yes, we're a bit late today. I'm sorry, but we got there in the end. And yeah, got some regular names I can see in the stream too. So hello, everyone. All right. Well, actually, before we start, Riz, I just wanted to share something really quick. Let me just a bit of a surprise for you, actually. Before we get started tonight, let's see. Hopefully, this audio comes through. You might recognize this clip. 1 second. Who is this person? Who is this person? Let me just put this on. The audio may or may not come through. So let's have a look. Is the stream coming through? The audio coming through? No. Okay, it's not. All right, that's all right. Well, let's skip to the important part, which is recognize this gentleman here, good-looking man, plugging into a car.
Jeez.
Walk us through this, Riz. How did you get onto this onto the Channel 7 News?
Look, you know what it's all about. I had my runners on, and I was ready to leave work, and all of a sudden I get a call from Channel 7 saying they wanted to come and talk to me about electric cars.
Right.
And what it's like charging as the number of EVs are growing.
Yep.
So I said, yeah, come on over to where my work is. So they did. They jumped in the car, and within half an hour or so they were. So this must have been an important story for them. And it all sort of happened fairly quickly. And last time Channel 7 interviewed me, I had my old ice car stolen. So this time, at least, I'm not as involved in any criminal activities.
What car were you driving there, just out of interest?
Oh, this is a BMW iX1 that I'm testing at the moment.
Okay.
And I just picked it up literally half an hour before they rang.
Okay.
And I said, look, usually I'm flying the Tesla flag, but this time it's a European electric car that they can come and have a film a bit of around that and see how it charges.
That's right. Well, look, we're very, very honored to have you, a celebrity in Melbourne on our stream, Riz. So, as people are saying on the stream, James Downs, James, Riz the man, and Sensei says Riz is on speed dial at Channel 7. So, we know who to call now. Charles, Riz is a news van chaser. I don't know. I doubt that's true.
I think. Look, I'm not gonna deny any of those comments. There could be all of the above.
No, that's good. Thanks for flying the flag for EVs, Riz. So that's good to see you on mainstream media there. Well done. All right, let's get to more serious news. Not that wasn't serious, but let's get to some hard-hitting news in the EV space here. What should we talk about first tonight, Riz? You got any sort of pressing stories you want to bring up first?
Look, I think we always start with the saucy stuff. So that's
Yes.
Project Highland.
Yep.
What's happening to this Tesla Model 3 that we keep hearing about? It could all be fake. Nothing could ever come off it.
You're absolutely right. There's no sort of hard, confirmation or denial from Tesla either way, right? So, let's start with your article here from today. So, yeah, I've seen some of this on Twitter or X recently, some sightings in Europe here, and you've written here, Europe sightings reveal more details about Tesla Model 3 Highland project. So these are quite up close and personal now, these pictures.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm assuming that's what people in France like to do. They just get up and close into anything. Um, some people say up in people's grills, but there's not much of a grill in front of a Tesla. So um, this person got very close, and I felt, looking at some of those videos shared on X, I felt a bit sorry for the poor Tesla test driver who is trying very hard to get, one of those big car covers from the boot of the car.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, it's the closest we've seen anyone get to these cars.
Yeah. So here's the video here that Riz is referring to. Like this poor, I assume maybe Tesla employee is trying to get a car cover over the camouflaged Model 3, whether it's Highland or not, I'm not sure. But I think there were comments on X saying, "Why don't you help him out?" Right? Just this poor dude's trying to get the cover on. But I don't know. Like as we've said many times, we don't know whether it's just hearsay or rumors, speculation. We don't know. We just got to get some sort of announcement. And as Vas M is saying, Sep 1 announcement, that's tomorrow, right? Didn't we have a tweet from Chris saying, something's going to happen tomorrow, September 1?
Well, apparently that's the news. It could just be, September 1st prank. And yeah, this is a good video. It shows a lot.
Yeah, some more shots of the back and that sort of vertical line that we've been sort of seeing for the rear of the lights there. Again, this poor chap's trying to cover the car.
And then he obviously misses the front, so the poor guy runs to the front to try and cover it again. And so you get a good glimpse of the wheels, which look a little bit like the 2020 Model 3 Performance wheels.
Yeah.
So as he goes to the back to fix that, then this guy comes right to the front.
Oh no, this is pretty funny. Of course, no one's going to help him because they want to see the car. But yeah, I mean, the lights do look a little bit different, I guess, and the wheels maybe look a little bit arachnid-esque. So it certainly looks different to the sort of stock standard Model 3. So we'll see what happens. Cool. Interesting. Thanks for posting that, Riz. That's great. Now, speaking of another article that Riz wrote this week, I'll post these pictures. I'll put up these pictures first because no, I won't. I'll show. Where's Riz's article about the superchargers?
Yes, big news this week.
Yeah. So Riz, talk us through that. What happened with the superchargers before I find this article?
So yeah, it was yesterday morning when news sort of came out that Tesla is planning on opening nearly half of their network around Australia to non-Teslas.
Yes, that's right. So, 63 supercharger locations in Australia currently, and now almost half of them, or 30 of them, are now open to all EVs. And I've got the list down here, which you wrote out. So, yeah, there's pretty much all the major states except for Tasmania, unfortunately. Sorry to our Tassie friends, but yeah, every state and territory on the mainland except for Northern Territory is represented. So we've got ACT, South Australia, New South Wales has got the most, obviously, just by sheer numbers. Some in Queensland and the rest in Victoria, and 2 in WA, which are the ones that open there anyway. So, I mean, is this kind of what we expected? Like, we knew it was going to happen, but as usual, Tesla didn't give us any warning, right? It was just kind of, bang, here we go. We're going to open it today.
Oh, it clearly shows, and we'll be talking about this sort of throughout the year since January, end of Jan, when they first opened the sites, those 5 sites in New South Wales, which Tom, you tested out, especially the Bathurst one with the high performance build your dream vehicle right there. That's that's a screenshot from your video. And yes, we were expecting it, but we thought it will be a bit of a trial, couple more sites, but no, pretty much half of them are up now.
No, this is good. I guess there's 2 sides of the coin here. Like, obviously, this is great for all EV owners. You've got now more DC chargers to rely on your road trip. Obviously, it's more expensive than the other third-party chargers like ChargeFox EV, by almost like 10 cents per kilowatt hour in some situations. You'd really only use this for backup. Like if you say your third-party one isn't working, then at least you've got a journey. And I think this is what this is really good for. Obviously, if you pay $10 a month, you can reduce that rate to what we pay as Tesla owners. So I think this is a good model actually. Either way, this pricing model anyway. But what is concerning, however, is this. This I'm about to post here, about to share with you guys what I posted today. One of our viewers, Wayne, he might be watching now, but he showed me these pictures that he took today of his BYD Atto 3 charging from a Tesla supercharger in Queensland in Toowoomba. And as you can see, Riz and everyone else, it's taking up more than one spot, right? Because of these wheel stops at the moment, which a lot of the supercharger locations are starting to remove because of this problem. So, if a non-Tesla EV is taking up more than one spot, that could be a potential problem.
Yeah, particularly with the V2 superchargers as well. But I think, Tesla's definitely looking at this. I'm not sure if a lot of the sites have cameras anymore. I know in the US, some of the sites do. So this is, not invading anyone's privacy, but just to understand how some of the non-Tesla EVs are charging as such, and the improvements that Tesla needs to make. They still are calling it a bit of a trial, even though they've expanded to nearly half the sites. They're very conscious of the fact that this is going to take a bit of time. We've got a few EVs that Europe doesn't fully have yet. That the Atto 3 is only available in a couple of markets in Europe where we've had them for a while. We've got, thousands of them now on the road. So hopefully, Tesla's watching this and can make some of those modifications.
Yeah, I quite like this sign here that the Toowoomba Golf Club has got here. I think it says free membership for Tesla owners while charging, which is a nice touch there. If anyone wants to go to Toowoomba, I don't know, get a free membership while you're charging your Tesla or non-Tesla EV now, and have a cup of coffee or something, have a drink in there while you're waiting, which is great. Riz, is there any potential for Tesla to share its data, whether it's a non-Tesla EV or Tesla EV charging? Will they ever share that with us, you think?
I think out of Europe, I haven't seen too much come out of there. And I think a stat that was being thrown around earlier in the week was 70% of all Tesla sites are open to non-Tesla vehicles in Europe, as of, I guess, August. So be interesting to see. But Tesla likes to keep things to themselves for various reasons. But I think for the superchargers in particular, the closest tease we've got to how they manage their network is this. I think it was a 2-minute video that came out earlier this year about superchargers and their reliability and how data is sort of used to constantly monitor each one of the stalls and immediately fix if there's anything wrong to keep that uptime high. But apart from that, I doubt that we will hear much on that. But either way, this is an amazing thing. It's for EV adoption and for everybody. Just creates so many more options, and it means that Tesla can further invest in larger sites, especially all the new sites they're going to be proposing in the sort of coming months.
Yeah, that's right. And now for anyone sort of I guess concerned about the care of these supercharger sites now that it's open to all, don't forget it's not just non-Tesla EVs that may cause an issue. This is what happened in Macquarie Park in Sydney earlier this week when I was there charging. Someone backed into one of these, well, I don't know whether it's backed or drove into one of these stalls here in Macquarie, and that's clearly roped off there and damaged, sort of leaning to the side there. Now, before you think, is this like a vandal? Is this like a jealous ICE owner? This area, for people who don't know Sydney, this is actually the valet section of the Macquarie Shopping Centre. So it's a restricted area to start with. So I think I'm probably guessing it's probably a Tesla owner that's backed up too far, and kissed the stall there. So it can happen to anyone. And just a note, just to take care while you're out at these superchargers, because unfortunately, if they're damaged, it might take a while to be repaired. All right. I might just say hello to our good friend Nash. I think he's in the chat there. So yes, he says Tesla. Tesla in the gong. That's Nash. I say let's banish the non-Tesla EVs to the dodgy Tesla superchargers. Lol. Nash. Spoken like a true Tesla fan. Well done. And yes, he says, I think Tesla will retrofit all chargers soon. Well, that'll be good actually, at least to a V3, right? Because it's a lot quicker. And we know Riz, Tesla V4s have got the longer cables and the credit card facilities in Europe and US. So that will help non-Tesla EVs. Good point by Charles. Australian government had nothing to do with it. 30 sites live, only 4 of them have to be open. The ones that use New South Wales government funding, Tenterfield, Campbelltown, Blaxland, and Wollongong. So thanks, Charles, for keeping track. Yeah, you would expect the New South Wales government ones to be at least open because they're partially funded. So yeah, this could just be an independent opening of Tesla's own accord, rather than being sort of forced to do so by the government. Okay, well let's take a look at anything else we can chat about. One sec. What else have we got in the stream here? What else have we got? Here's an interesting one. So did we talk about this last week? No, we didn't. Let's have a look at this one. So now this is Tesla has launched a new Cybertruck delivery event invite referral program. I think this might just be in the US. You can go to the Cybertruck delivery event in Austin if you complete 3 referrals, which will earn you enough credits to redeem for an invite with a +1. Now, I guess you just got to find your own airline ticket, Riz, if you wanted to go to the event there.
Or we just say we know Nash, and then all of a sudden we'll be thrown air tickets at us.
That's right. We can send everyone over there.
Yes,
that's right. Okay. And just sticking with Tesla news, just bear with me, everyone. So this is countries where Tesla has already surpassed last year's sales by the end of July. There's a whole list of countries there. Pretty good stuff. Australia is sitting at 151%. Look, countries like Thailand, Hungary, over 1,000%. Pretty impressive.
Well, Hungary is clearly hungry for Teslas, so
that's right. Okay, some more just quickly into Tesla news still. So internal email from Elon Musk on Cybertruck. Due to the nature of Cybertruck, which is made of bright metal with mostly straight edges, any dimensional variation shows up like a sore thumb. All parts for this vehicle, whether internal or from suppliers, need to be designed and built to sub 10 micron accuracy. That means all part dimensions need to be in the 3rd decimal placed in millimeters, and tolerances need to be specified in single-digit microns. If Lego and soda cans, which are very low cost, can do this, so can we. Does this sound like an email that Elon wrote? I might have to ask Nash there in the chat. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on a little bit now to some non-Tesla news. So this is still Sawyer. Okay, so this is the new electric E5 or Kia EV5. So there we go. It is 6 inches shorter than Tesla Model Y, which is 6 inches is what, 15 centimeters, I think, thereabouts. It's got a 360-degree camera, heated and ventilated front seats, 64 color ambient interior lighting, 82 kilowatt-hour battery, launching in China in a few months.
Now, the pricing of this was announced in China, and it's starting at under 34,000 Australian dollars.
Wow.
34,000 Australian dollars. And I don't think it's for the 82 kilowatt-hour battery pack version, but I guess, that's something we can look forward to. Not so much that price point, but even under 50,000 in Australia for a vehicle like that. So this is sort of probably Kona electric equivalent, but I guess on a ground up electric vehicle platform that Hyundai and Kia Group has. So yeah, anything under $50,000 is going to be a good car, and in China starts at under 34,000 Australian dollars, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we know like SUVs sell well; they do well in currently in the world, and particularly in Australia. So yeah, I think that will certainly do well for sure. Okay, let's have a look at this one. So electric cars pass a crucial tipping point in 23 countries. So apparently once 5% of new cars sales go electric, everything changes, according to a Bloomberg Green analysis of the latest EV adoption curves. It's good to see. Okay, and let's get some more news up. So what's this one? So China's giant BYD has joined the world's 10 biggest car companies by sales for the first time, surpassing Mercedes-Benz Group and BMW. And BYD achieved it through electric cars alone. So this is both BEV and PHEV. Now number 10 in the world. That's a pretty impressive there. I think that's the only Chinese brand in the top 10 there. That's good. Okay. So we're jumping around all over the place here. So this one is Sawyer again. Tesla has announced to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the first 6 Supercharger stations opening in Norway. Supercharging in Europe is free to everyone today, and that was, what day was that? 29th of August, so 2 days ago, including non-Tesla EVs. It's a nice little celebration there. Okay, good. This is definitely something Rahul shared with us this week, so this is right up his alley. So Rahul doesn't have any off-street parking. He's made that clear many times before. So this is something he would definitely like. This is an EV charger that's, I don't know, dangling off a tree, I guess. You can drag to something parked on the street there. That's a pretty long cable. Wow. Oh, no, it's not a tree. It's a power pole. Yeah, sorry for those who can't see it if you're listening, but that's quite a long cable dangling from, looks like some sort of charger from quite high up, actually. Probably, say, at least 2 meters or 2.5 meters high, because this gentleman can't reach it with his hand. So, yeah, I guess another option for off-street charging. Okay, and this one is, look at this, Singapore's floating solar farms made of 122,000 solar panels. Wow.
That's cool.
That's amazing. 60 megawatts. Can happen, people. Okay. What else have we got? Oh, yes. Let's share this one. So this was shared with me today. So this is the BYD Dolphin spotted in Adelaide at the BYD Experience Centre. So what do we think, everyone in the stream? Does it look good? And what we want to see. Is that the front, the bigger nose at the front?
Yeah, I think this must be their the base model. But yeah, it's cool. We're just waiting to hear when we're going to be able to take some for test drives.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon.
I think so. Are we waiting for an ANCAP safety rating, I assume?
Yeah, I think ANCAP and probably a couple of other approvals. So hopefully not too far. And then I just on BYD and that picture from the rear, build your dreams. There's a bit of chatter in Europe at the moment that BYD is likely to get rid of the whole build your dreams from the back on most of their models and just leave it on the Dolphin. But that could be a Europe only thing. So we'll find out if the Seal has it when it eventually launches here as well.
Yeah. This is very, very much like the MG4 in terms of space. Like, it's very much a hatch. I wouldn't call it a hot hatch. Definitely not even a warm hatch in that base model. 0 to 100 in 12, I think 12 seconds.
12 seconds, yeah.
Seconds. It's not what the EVs, I guess, are known for, that number. But yeah, Super Mario is saying 60 kilowatt hour Dolphin is probably the sweet spot there. Yep. And yep, Gaffer says he doesn't mind it. That's good. That's good. And some more comments about the pole charging. So Gaffer says, I think there might be an app to release and lower it. Okay, that's good. Just from that previous story we showed. Yeah, and he says, Charles says, that video makes me glad we have socket AC charging. No need for over-the-top stuff like that. Literally over the top. Yeah. Greg Wilson, good question. How do you pay for it? Yeah, probably through an app, I imagine. Gaffer says it retracts like a hose.
Yeah.
And Nash says EV5 is a lost opportunity. I think could have been so much more. Okay, kind of looks like a small EV9 actually. Nash and Riz and everyone else. Yeah. And Oscreamer says EV5 is cheaper than Model Y in China. Okay. Yep, as you said. Disappointed EV5 is only a 5-seater. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, let's go back to the comments. James says we completed build on 2 new EV network sites this week, one in Avoca and Mornington. Okay, that's great.
Hey.
It's good to see more EV chargers, literally. Cool. Okay. And Mark comment about superchargers. The more non-Teslas that use superchargers, the more revenue to Tesla that build them. Also, non-Tesla charging, the supercharger leaves a vacancy at a non-Tesla charger. It is swings and roundabouts. Yeah, that's true. I guess now that superchargers are open to everyone, I guess there's less argument as to whether Tesla should be able to use third-party chargers, right? Like an EV or ChargeFox or something, because now it's open to all. Although NRMA should probably start literally charging people. We can't affect DC charging.
It's free for all at NRMA, so
yeah, it's not good. Okay, right. Question for us here is, why do you think EV sales dropped from 8% to 6% recently? Can't be supply issue, as in August I had 3 emails chasing sales, as so did you, Riz, from Tesla, from BYD and Tesla about inventory stock available now. What's going
on? I think it's sort of Tesla's delivery cycle. First month is generally a little bit lower off the quarter. The August sales, we should know a little bit more about next week. And then September, hopefully a bumper month. By the way, MG started delivering MG4s, and they seem to be in reasonable quantities. So I guess we will find out how many they have been able to deliver in August, and then September onwards, and hopefully by September as well, we'll have a somewhat of an idea as to what's going on with Dolphin. Whether if everything sort of runs through pretty quickly, then maybe a couple may be delivered by the end of the month. But expect Tesla and I guess BYD with the Atto 3 to have a big month.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm looking forward to those figures from VFAX very soon. Speaking of MG4, confirmed I have a loan of it in a couple of weeks, the 64 Essence. So I'll definitely take that out for a test, given that it's a production car now, as opposed to the Excite 51 Riz I had driving to Canberra. That was, I think, an import from the UK. So we'll see how much difference there is in the production cars for MG Australia. Cool. All right. And let's put this one up now. So this is a Mercedes van, the e-Sprinter electric van, available in the US now. Now, Riz, you recently tested the Peugeot e-Partner, didn't you?
Yeah, so this is much larger, I guess. But yeah, I think it's good that we're starting to see more delivery vans. Interesting, in the US, there seems to be a lot happening with the Rivian and their Amazon vans, and then there is, I think, Canoe is another one, then 40 Transit, and now Mercedes. So good to see a lot of action in that sort of segment.
So 71,000 US, so probably more like 100K over here. 113 kilowatt hour battery, 250 miles, so about 400 Ks. Yeah, look, for a commercial vehicle, I think that's reasonable. Pretty big battery. You probably, I suppose, with a payload, but might be less range as well. So if you drive it every day, charge at night, good to go the next day. That's makes sense to me as a commercial vehicle.
Mercedes in Australia does sell the EQV People Mover. And surprisingly, when I drove it, it drives better than their EQB SUV. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it was much larger car, but it just drives better. I mean, that's $150,000+, but it's supposed to be a luxury people mover, doing airport transfers and those type of things. So yeah, good to see Mercedes starting to get some of their bigger sort of van products out to the US and hopefully here as well.
Yeah, getting more serious. That's good. Rowan agrees with me. I'll use Tesla sites as a reliable backup rather than a primary charging provider. That makes sense to me too. Question for you, Riz. Has Victoria's lack of subsidy taken effect on numbers or not? Too soon?
I guess we'll start to find out, because people that placed an order before the end of June, apparently the government was going to honor that, or the dealers or whoever sells you the car will be able to get the subsidy for the customer till I think it was October or maybe December this year. But any orders, new orders from I guess July onwards, we haven't seen too much more of, but we'll keep an eye out on the numbers. We should get some data from the Victorian sort of electric vehicle data set in the coming weeks, and we will find out. I think, Tom, you're on mute.
Oh, thanks, Riz. Yeah, I was going to say I'm looking forward to seeing whether that has any effect on the numbers. Definitely. Question for me, Alan Morgan. Hey, Tom, any feedback on the 2-stop charging challenge in the Polestar? Yes, I can say I can confirm I've got a loan of a long-range single motor Polestar 2. So stay tuned. That should be coming relatively soon as well. That range challenge. I'm gonna try for 2, but might lose my nerve and go 3. We'll see. Stay tuned. 2 stops from Sydney to Melbourne. That's living. And yeah, Tassie EV1, waiting on the BYD seal to see what specs it has. Yeah, so am I actually.
Ooh.
Yeah,
it was launched in Hong Kong this week, or at least the pricing was announced, and with the starting price equivalent to 61,000 Australian dollars.
Okay, 61.
Yeah, 61,000.
Okay, so a bit more expensive than the Model 3.
Hmm.
In Hong Kong, Riz, do you know whether the Model 3 is cheaper than the seal?
The Model 3 is actually slightly more expensive. It's about 10,000 Hong Kong dollars more than the BYD seal. But then again, it could just be an introductory offer. And, Tesla always adjusts prices up and down all the time. So I'd say it's roughly the same price as a seal is to a Model 3. But we'll find out. It's just launching now. And I think they also said first deliveries before the end of the year for Hong Kong.
Okay, cool. Should be good. And David Hancock says, dealer told me 500 mgs in the first shipment. Ooh, that's pretty good numbers there, Riz. That's good.
Yeah, they sort of, I think, mentioned that by the end of the year, they're aiming to get up to 2,000 MG4s a month, which is pretty good supply. I know there's a lot of demand for the car, but it'd be interesting to see what happens once the first sort of, early customers, early adopters, once they get through those orders, what happens. Because, people still do not really know, apart from, I guess, us in the EV community, people are still not entirely sure whether MG sells anything other than a ZS EV at the moment.
Yep. We'll keep driving it. Hopefully people find out through our channel. And a question. Andy Mack. Hi, Tom. First time poster. Welcome. Can you please test the EV trip computer on the MG4? Supposed to be able to plan charging stops. Yeah, I will test that in the Essence, because in the Excite 51 that Riz and I had driving to Canberra, there was no nav at all. So I can tell you there's no nav in the Excite 51 that we had anyway. So unlikely. The only 2 cars I can think of, or 3, is Tesla, Polestar, and Volvo that have got trip planning built at this stage. And that, I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Gaffer is a man after my own heart. I love an EV van, so do I. To me, it makes the most sense for business. Why would you go for anything else? Yeah, some people like Utes, Gaffer. I don't know. Some people like that. Yes, I read that New South Wales wants to remove the subsidy. Is that happening? There's mention of it. Not sure if it's coming to fruition, though.
Yeah, I think a lot of governments around Australia are thinking about sort of tightening their purse strings just to find out, how we're going to get through the next couple of years. So it's disappointing when, you get news from the US where some states you can buy a Model 3 for like around $24,000 US. And here we've got some states with nothing, other states with quite good incentives. Queensland seems to be the place to be, and New South Wales is doing quite well. ACT's got a couple of things, and South Australia, Western Australia, and Tassie as well. So yeah, it would be interesting to sort of keep an eye out. But we need as many incentives as possible to encourage more people to make the switch. But whether it actually happens, I think politicians think slightly different to us.
You think? I mean, we look out for everyone out here as well on the stream, right? We're very loving and caring. Politicians should be loving and caring too. I'll leave that one alone. Charles says the Mark E is already on sale here, and I think the Ford F-150 Lightning is also on sale officially too in Australia. Now I have reached out to Ford to ask them for a loan of both cars. So if anyone from Ford is watching, here I am reaching out again to please allow me to have a press car so I can tell these lovely people what it's like to drive a Ford Mark-E or F-150 Lightning. Okay, and let's see, what else have we got? Okay, Greg says, did you see the Shmi 150 EV charging rants this week in LA? Had lots of issues with a Rivian.
Oh,
okay. No, we didn't actually. I have to look that up for next time. Thank you. Just drove the Polestar 2 MY23 and found the non-Polestar Google apps on the infotainment to be very slow. Keen to see if they've improved that with the new version. Well, have a look at the video that I did with Riz in Canberra. It wasn't too bad actually. In the refresh MY 2024 Polestar 2, it was all right with the trip planning. I put Melbourne in there. It told me where to stop pretty quickly, so I thought it was okay. Okay, let's move on to the next article that I am going to share. So this is just a nice comparison of the tech between a CCS2 plug on the left and a NACS plug on the right from North America. So yeah, I mean, Tesla do some things right. That's one of them. Really good, efficient charging cables.
Yeah. So this is posted by Alex Voigt. He's German dude, auto industry expert, and yeah, he makes some very good sort of points around why the European automakers have really haven't come to the party, and like he says, left a committee decides behind closed doors and first principles. So yeah, interesting to see. And on the back of that, this week I read a report out of the US that a lot of people, users, stakeholders are extremely disappointed with Electrify America, which has a lot of CCS chargers in the US. I think it's owned by Volkswagen Group on the back of Dieselgate, and it was one of the penalties that they had to set up a charging infrastructure, and hasn't been maintained, and they've got a whole lot of issues with EV owners saying it's unreliable, and they're not changing. So they're not changing. Volkswagen is not changing in Europe, and it seems that their charging infrastructure is basically just a compliance thing, and they're not serious. So this is another example of it as well.
Yeah, Shailendra makes a good point here. Not a fair comparison. Compare a Tesla CCS2 to NACS. That's true, Shailendra. Yes, the Tesla CCS2 plugs here are very slim line, and the cables are quite nice to hold as opposed to the big third-party ones. So, and this is a CCS1, I think, CCS1 plug in North America as well.
Right. Yeah.
One. Yeah. And Charles says it doesn't support three-phase AC. It's true. NACS was a short-sighted idea by Tesla because they didn't consider international expansion. Yeah, that's fair.
Elon said that apparently, this is Elon's explanation, that they didn't know that this committee existed when they were putting together the
CCS.
Yeah, that's right. But they've stuck to their charging standard, and there must be something that they're doing right now.
Well, I guess in North America there's no three-phase, right? So there's no sort of incentive to move over to CCS Type 2. So the best option is this NACS plug. That's much easier to handle, and I've used it myself in the US. It's quite nice, as opposed to this chunky thing over here. So yeah, horses for courses. But I think CCS2 personally is probably here to stay in Australia and probably in Europe as well. That's my personal opinion. Question. And okay, so Nash says, today I asked this question on X, and 13 Arm linked a lovely Solar Quotes article showing me clearly why NACS will not come here. It is to do with three-phase. Yep. Thank you, Nash. That was my understanding too, that it doesn't support three-phase, which would be a real shame. Okay, let's might share this one now. This is a example of another Tesla Supercharger opening in Wagga Wagga in inner New South Wales, which is good to see. And do I see a drive-through stall? I think I do. Look at that.
Yes.
There you go. People towing. You can tow, well, almost tow. You can't go all the way through, but at least you can sort of back in a little bit with your trailer and plug in, right? So it's something. And this is good too for like, for example, the BYD and like all the EGMP cars with the port on the back right. And at least this will help a little bit with your plug placement. So good to see. And the B3 as well. So this is in Wagga Wagga at the Rules Club Quality Inn car park. Expect to be operational by end of September. So thank you, Eric, for sharing that. There it is there, for those who know Wagga. And it looks like it's just being commissioned now. So that's good.
Looks like a well-funded site.
Yep. Yeah, that's good. And that'll help with the inland trip as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. I think Wagga is one of the stops if you want to go inland through to Adelaide from Sydney. I could be really wrong, but is Wagga Wagga on the map there? Let me know. Okay, cool. What else can we chat about? What else have we got? Just little bits and pieces here. So just a bit of news there that the Refer and Earn is now on the Tesla app if you want to refer people to your link. And Riz, we might cut to your community service announcement here. So this is from Waverley Council in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. Walk us through this one.
Yeah, so Randwick, Beverley and Wallara Council have been working on, I guess, a strategy as to what they need to do, how they need to get ready for electrification and decarbonize vehicles and transport. And as part of that, they've released their draft strategy for people to, have their say around what they like in it, what they don't like, what are the things that can be improved. And I think the submissions close closer to the end of the month. So end of September, that is. Maybe 23rd or 27th of September. So, anyone that is sort of in the area or wants to have a read through the strategy and sort of see they've put quite a bit of work into it. And it just goes to show some of those inner sort of Sydney or inner city, basically LGAs, local government areas, the kind of work that they're putting in and what they're thinking in terms of what EV owners would like. One interesting thing about this set of councils is they currently operate a small charging network. It's running on the ChargeFox network as such, but it's sort of somewhat managed and monitored by these three councils as well. So anyone in the area, feel free to have a read through it, or anyone that's just interested, then check it out and give them some feedback, and I'm sure they'll listen and try and incorporate a bit more into their strategy if that's needed.
Yeah, this is a good good initiative from Waverley Council. It'd be good to see more other LGAs doing the same. So let's run through the survey real quick. So which local government area do you live in? So Waverley, Randwick, Wallara, which is all very close together in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. In general, do you support the draft Eastern Suburbs EV Strategy 2023 leading the charge, which you can read through, and other comments? Do you agree with the action plan and other actions that you would consider? And how did you hear about this? So yeah, like as Riz said, if you live in the area, go for it. If you don't, that's fine. Go for it as well. If you're really keen on this kind of stuff, this will help council like Waverley, Randwick, and Wallara make decisions for their people of living in the area. So thanks, Riz, for pointing that out for us. Thank you. Let's run through some more comments. I saw some good ones here as I was running through it. So Charles says, we should be thankful that we used CCS2 and ended the plug wars years ago. By plug wars, I think you mean probably versus CHAdeMO, whereas Americans are still dealing with adapters, etc. So yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad we don't have to use adapters for DC charging in general. That's one thing, right? It's one less thing to carry. And yeah, Mark says US does have three-phase, but it is a commercial site, not residential. So yeah, three-phase is not generally widespread in America, so not necessary. Shalandra, Electrify America is punishment for VW's Dieselgate. Doesn't have a good reputation, Electrify America, does it? It's not as reliable as some.
Yeah, it seems that way, and I think well, they're sort of running through the same challenges as well. Like we were discussing earlier, as Tesla opens up their network to non-Tesla EVs, they're still doing what they've been doing, which is monitoring every stall, reliability, uptime, multiple stalls per site. They talk to the cars, the stalls work, everything seems to be, the infrastructure is all there. And unfortunately, a lot of the other networks, it's very piecemeal sort of stuff. We'll install one charger, see what happens. We'll install a couple. Even simple things like labeling of chargers. It's a bit all over the place in the US. The app says one thing, you look at the charger, it's something else. And, unfortunately, that's just the first step. And then there's handshake issues and all the rest of it. So hopefully, we experienced it here in Australia as well. If you use a non-Tesla charger, we had that with that road trip as well, Tom. The MG road trip from Sydney to Canberra and back. And a few handshake issues along the way. It wasn't necessarily the car, sometimes the chargers, but we never know.
Yeah, that's right. We I didn't show a lot of it, but there were some issues. At the Ampol site at Pheasants Nest. Great site, but just a couple of things like the payment wasn't going through, or had to unplug and replug. So you did see the best bits of it, but it's just the way it is, unfortunately, at the moment until we get the tap and go. As you know, with Tesla Superchargers, if you got a Tesla EV, it just makes sense to just plug in and you're good to go. Unfortunately. Let's have a look. So what else have we got? Comments. Shalendra is clearly a Tesla fan. Here's how we can improve. Give all the money to Tesla and they'll do a better job. Yep. That's one way to do it. Oh, yes. So thanks. Let's have a look at this one. Riz, you just reminded me. So this article here. Okay, so Tesla V4 superchargers with tap and go credit card option in action for the first time. So where's this? This is in the UK. Yeah. Look at that. How cool is that? It's so easy.
So this is that little payment the payment system that was spotted at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. And it appears that those, new sites in the UK, this is one of the first ones where this gentleman was trying it out. And it's working. It's got a pretty simple user interface. And quite good to see how well it's easily done, and he never had any handshake issues or anything like that. So he says you could either use your app or just tap and go, and it's pretty seamless. So Tesla seems to be doing this the right way as well. I guess we'll learn more as more of these chargers with these credit card sort of systems go online.
Yes, so if this is especially useful for non-Tesla EVs, because if you don't have a Tesla EV, you still have to download the app. And when I did use it for the BYD way back in whenever it was earlier this year in Bathurst, there were a couple of handshake issues despite it being a Tesla app. So this hopefully would be much easier with your credit card or your phone. You just tap it and you can start straight away. This will be super handy for third-party chargers too, like from ChargeFox or EV as well. And I wonder whether they hold your card too. They probably would, because if you incur idle fees, they'll keep accruing even if you stop charging too. You would think. Yeah, so that's good. Good news there. Thanks for sharing that, Riz. That's good. And I think there was an example of where's this down here? This is this?
Yeah,
somewhere?
this one was in Brighton, and I sort of took that last weekend, that shot, because these have got those little drive-through. Well, sorry, not so much drive-through. What it's got, pull-in bays for when you're towing, like that charger stall at the end. So it's good to see that there's more and more of these Teslas thinking about those that will be towing And also it helps non-Tesla EVs as well if they run into trouble with having a port in a particular location and they need a charge. So yeah, I think this Tesla might be doing a lot more of that. I know at the Box Hill site, I think at this stage it's still the biggest, maybe with 12 stalls. That's in Melbourne, and that's still got similar sort of setup for a couple of stalls there. So yeah, good to see this new design, and they're trying to include more and more drivers with different sort of applications, including towing.
Yeah, the ones I stopped in on my Canberra trip, Campbelltown, that's a newer site. That's also this similar design with the middle of the spot like that. I think Exeter with the Heatherberry pies there, that's also like that as well, I think, from memory. Yeah, I think that'd be better for like a BYD that's got the port on the right, and even an eGP car, which is on the back right, you can potentially pull it a bit more. So yeah, this is good. They're thinking about that. Probably someone said to me on Twitter or X this week, whether we need to have, I don't know which social media platform it was, but more like pull through stores. So like you can literally just drive through. So at the moment, it's like, in car parks that are already existing. So we kind of need to see like ground up charging stations where, like petrol stations, right? You've got a stall right there. You can just drive through. So no matter which side your port is, doesn't matter because you can just drive it whichever way you want and just drive on through.
Europe has a lot of those sites now. We see that in some of the videos that Beyond makes, that a lot of those larger sites, they seem to have, I guess, more options there. So it'd be interesting to see, as now that non-Teslas can charge at Tesla Superchargers, the bigger sites are coming and what that design would look like as well. So I'm sure Tesla's learning from all of this stuff as well and applying their international experience.
That's good. Let's take some comments here from the audience. So Nash says Electrify America was terrible when he was there. 3 sites I went to test my hide cars were all down. EVgo was better. That's good. Scotty, was that tritium chargers? Yeah, that's the thing, right? Gaffer's saying, I've noticed ChargeFox is being very proactive on X. That's true. We've had Rob on the stream, the marketing director on the stream recently, so he was very keen to hear your feedback. So yes, he's in charge of social media, and as people report issues, they update all on Twitter, and they seem to be getting stuff fixed within 24 hours. Okay, that's good. They are trying. Good to see. Does Tesla in Australia, question from Scotty, support third-party plug and charge? What does that mean? As in third-party plug and charge? Not quite sure what the question is relating to. Okay. No, people saying no. Okay. Charles Gregory, great setup with these new stalls. Didn't think Tesla could do it and make it look good, avoid reliability, but they did. Nice and subtle, so not attracting vandalism either. Actually, I was just that reminded me, Charles, with this one here, I just worry about the people knocking into this. So whether they need to put a bollard there just to block that off. Drivers being who they are. So good point there. Thank you. What else have we got? I thought Aussie Tesla can't do plug and charge at third sites, but no official word.
Oh, I think what Scotty may be referring to is probably rocking up with the Tesla at a ChargeFox or one of these other sites and plugging in and it just charges, maybe?
I see. Yep. I think you might be right, Riz. Yeah, I don't think that, no, definitely not at this stage. Just doesn't recognize it. But that would be good. Labor. Hey, Tom, you made a tease about your new toy, Wallbox. Now he spotted it. Looking forward to your review. Yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to have a play with that new toy for a few weeks before I post something. So I want to make sure I'm all across it. So stay tuned. Looks good so far. It's got solar charging, so you can detect excess solar. So that's one advantage. It's a bit more expensive than the Gen 3, I know, Gen 3 Tesla charger, but yeah, it seems pretty good at the moment. Good setup, good interface with the app too. So stay tuned. Okay, yeah. So Scotty did say it's a plug and charge at a ChargeFox or EV. Thanks, Scotty, for clarifying that. Yep. Okay, and question from Crazed Snail. Hey guys, curious to see what you think. My Model 3 order went from July to September to delivery estimated 15th of October to 3rd of November. Okay, so that's blown out a bit.
Oh,
But there is stock available in inventory. Could that be because of Highland? Ooh, now you've opened a can of worms.
look, we'll find out. We'll find out in the next couple of days. That's possibly the case because um, I haven't seen a lot of this, but apparently there's footage on Chinese social media of vehicles being transported fully covered, being driven to what I would assume is store locations. And Jason Yang, who does a drone flyover around Giga Shanghai, the factory where they're produced, the last video had a whole lot less cars that were undercover compared to the previous video he did, where there seemed like close to 100 cars, and I think this time it might have been around 30. So they're going somewhere, and maybe Tesla really has figured this out, and they'll do a line swap over, or if it's already being done, and it may possibly be that first batch will be here by early November.
Now, Riz, I remember when the Model Y dropped in Australia, you had your runners on and you spotted them for us. They just had them under the cover of darkness, I think. You spotted them at first light coming off a
Well,
transporter.
this is the plan this time. I was thinking about it this morning, actually, just after I finished chasing the Channel 7 van. I thought, what could my next adventure be? And yeah, that would be a pretty cool one if we can spot some stuff. And now it's slightly different now, because previously Tesla used to deliver all their cars to Port Kembla, and then they used to be put onto transporters and transported everywhere. Now it could be anything, because basically there's ships going into Brisbane, there's ships going to Port Kembla, Melbourne, Perth, Fremantle. Perth could get the first delivery of them, and I guess we will find out, because the Tesla Owners Club or WA does a really good job at tracking what's coming, counting all the vehicles, and it's going to be quite fun this time around.
Yeah, that's right. So everyone watching, who to send the photos to Riz and myself on X. Or send it to me. I'll just amplify it for you on the social media platforms. But yeah, I think we should be doing some spotting very shortly for Highland, if that is indeed the case in Australia, coming off ships. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled, everyone. Ears peeled and eyes open. Should be good to watch. Some good viewing. And Riz will need some new shoes. Anyone watching from Adidas, Nike, Puma, Asics, Brooks. Yeah, we'll take anything for Riz. Okay, good question here. Is the GWM Aura still a good buy now that the MG4 is out? Oh, good question. The Aura's sitting at what, 40, sub 40 still, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, very similar sized vehicles from what I can see. I also have a loan booked later this year too, so stay tuned for the Aura. Be a good one to compare. Aura, MG4, BYD Dolphin. Those three are very similarly priced, I think. Cool. Okay. Question from Greg. We need to see Riz in a Borat Mankini in the streets looking for Highland. Wow. What's the asking price there is for that?
Well, if I do see it, I'll definitely go, very nice. How much? So we'll find out.
Nice. Adam West, I've seen a second-hand 2019 Model 3 for under $40,000 in Sydney. Ooh. It's a good price. Good price.
We had Nash on, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned that he was queuing $29,000 for a trade-in for a 2019 Model 3.
Oh yes, he did say that, didn't he? Yeah. So that's 40K is a good price then. Sell. Speaking of Nash, Gaffer says they have to go through Port Kembla first. That way Nash can do quality checking. They and half of them are heading to him anyway.
That's right.
He's keeping Tesla afloat. Well done, Nash. Thanks for your comments on the stream too. Thanks. Okay, finally, do you think the ceramic coating is worth it? Yes, still looking very shiny on my car. So check out that video. Riz, I think that might be it for tonight. Anything else you want to bring up before we finish?
No, all good. I guess we'll keep an eye out on X tomorrow, see what happens. Maybe it's Saturday if they're planning on doing something. Configurators usually change on Fridays, so we'll find out on the Tesla front, and hopefully BYD's configurator also changes, and we know when the specs of the seal will be. But I'm a bit more doubtful on that one. So keep an eye out, everyone, and share it with Tom.
Yes, that's right. And I'll share it with Riz and we'll share it with everyone. Yeah, so plenty to look forward to, right? Polestar 2 Drive, MG4 Loan, Aura, Seal launch, lots of good stuff coming up.
Wallbox.
Wallbox, yeah, there's so much content coming. It's great. And just a special thing for you guys because you're watching live. Greg just reminded me, Tom, seen a few reports this week of crazy increases for Tesla insurance renewals. Any info on these? I'm running a special insurance live stream for a company I'm working with next Tuesday. It'll be at 8 p.m. Tuesday. I'll release details over the weekend, but that will be a good stream to watch for you guys as important consumers in the EV space to give feedback to an upcoming insurance company wanting to look after EV consumers. So stay tuned for that. That should be a good one. And I'm seeing that World EV Day is coming up next week. I think 7th of September I'm seeing. So that's pretty much next week, right, on our stream. So that'll be our stream on EV Day. So stay tuned for that one. And as Riz said, Saturday could be the big day for news that we're hoping 1st of September in the Northern Hemisphere. So we're streaming on Saturday morning. Might be perfect to tune in and find out what happened overnight in North America with regards to Tesla news. And yes, Hyundai Kona EV 2024. I'd love to drive that too. I think I've put in a request for that too. So that should be a good one to drive in Q4. All right, everyone, that might be it. And yeah, Gaffer says hit the like button. Helps the channel grow. Thanks so much. Thank you. Riz, thanks so much again for your time as always. Thanks so much for joining us.
Awesome to be here, Tom, and great that everyone could join us. And yeah, look forward to seeing some of you on Saturday and the rest of you on Thursday. Should be exciting week ahead.
Should be good. And don't forget Tuesday as well for the live stream as well, special live stream. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week as always. Ciao for now. Take care.